Peace. Good evening. I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of the Foul Playland. As always, I am Sir Foul Player of Brooklyn, coming at you live from North Arlington, New Jersey. What? Anyhow, I'm actually driving into New York now to do a little business dealings. That's the pizzeria from The Sopranos. Um, and I wanted to talk crap while I head over there. Talk about the news of the day, or the big news of the day, um, which is the Hunter Biden um, uh, the fact that Hunter Biden's father pardoned him, basically gave him amnesty from the crimes that he may have committed in 2014 to from 2014 to 2023. That those dates, as far as the years go, is really interesting on the surface, knowing the fact that this family, what they've been involved in, as far as dealings go. But I guess I'll get to that as this video progresses. There, up ahead is New York City, off in the distance. That's Midtown Manhattan, and I think, let me see, it's far from here, but the World Trade is over there. But I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. I've had a wonderful day watching the left implode, watching the fake moral hypocrisy that the left and their apologists conduct themselves with. The fact that they've been repeating that no one's above the law, yet now, or the fact that they made it seem as if Joe Biden has some sort of moral superiority because he was gonna punish his son, or let the Justice Department punish his son, as was expected. And again, I mean, like, the fact that people knew that he was gonna grant his son a pardon. I mean, some people expected it. I mean, like, most people don't even know, like, how pardons work, but it could be assumed that, yeah, just because the fact that that's his son, yeah, he was gonna give him a pardon, sure. But when the president, which I've heard say from the Democrats, the president's words matter, I guess they don't matter when it comes to protecting the left. Hey, Bennett Switzer, thank you for coming through. Hey, Kipton Fegan, thank you for coming as well. But I've seen the liberal left eating itself today, more so, or just as much as when Biden or Kamala Harris lost the election. The left has been imploding since then, at least here in America domestically. But this pardon, because you had a lot of liberal pundits on The View, on all these mainstream media sources, making it seem that, Joe Biden was the moral compass of this country, and he's just a man of great fortitude and somebody who to be looked to. He's just this great dad. And in spite of all that, when it comes to justice that's going to be leveled against his son for apparent dirty dealings, the claim that the Biden administration and Joe Biden or the claim that they've been running with for the past couple of years was that there was no chance that Joe Biden was gonna pardon his son. Yet yesterday, in the dead of night, we find out that that's just the opposite. I mean, and of course, I mean, you're gonna have a wave of people that defend the left, whether online, and they throw emotion into it. Well, how do you expect a drug addict to be a regular functioning citizen? Listen, I have a younger brother who's in jail right now, and he in New York, and he went from New York City, and now he got transferred upstate to Ulster. But and it was for drug offenses. You know, mind you, my brother was in Rikers Island before he got sent upstate with immigrant criminals that were gonna get released from Rikers Island. Yet my little brother, my baby brother, essentially, is in jail for 3 years behind drug-related offenses, essentially. So the fact that Hunter Biden is a drug addict, I mean, that doesn't give him automatic victim status. I mean, I have another brother. I mean, we could probably see him on this live stream if I find him in the street of Sunset Park, who's still living, who my brother lives in the street of Sunset Park, addled with a drug habit that is probably more so than anybody in my neighborhood. I mean, if anybody mentions my brother, like they mention the fact that he's a drug addict. I mean, and I love my brother, but does that get him any sort of sympathy? No. I mean, but the liberal left, they make any sort of fake emotional argument to try to draw on your. They don't try to draw on your sympathies. They just try to guilt you into deviating standard for the sake of them winning that argument on that day. But one thing that 2024 is teaching us is that the left people that promote anything left and leftist or 2024 standard leftism, all those people should be shunned, honestly. I mean, a lot, like for the most part. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I have a theory that a lot of the people that control the left should be treasonous. I mean, is that above and beyond? Certainly. But we're just finding out how fake and unmoral the liberal left is. Now, all the responses that they're going to come up with, I mean, I've already dealt with them for the past couple of years. All they're going to do is mention Trump in some form and capacity. And and what about Trumpism? I mean, I've heard every what about Trumpism that's to be uttered. And me, as a Puerto Rican of New York City, I mean, that shit don't work on me. I mean, I have a theory that these few black people that voted conservative this time around changed the country dynamically. And in actuality, at least from what I see, they really did, because it helped break apart like this emotional, insane arguments that are brought up when you're trying to suss things out. And that kind of stuff, as far as guilting us into some sort of emotion, dictating conversations by utilizing emotions, that shit ain't working in 2024. I mean, you unless you're talking to our wallets or the safety of our children, you could kick rocks. And the liberal left, they don't speak any of that stuff. They basically want a nanny state. They basically want to be the arbiters of what's bad and what's good, who's a racist, who's not, what's a man, what's a woman. And a lot of people are seeing through it when you have one of the leaders of the left, by not really by choice, but just because they needed a decent candidate that could beat Trump in 2020, which I'm in the party of people that doesn't feel that the 2020 election wasn't on board. But that's neither here nor there at this point, I guess. Let me give some shout outs. Bruce Gas, thank you for coming through. Sean 2 + 2 equals clownfish? I don't know. But thank you for coming through. Let me see. I also got Germany. How old are you, Bennett? I don't know. But you also got, bro, you see the shit that's going down on Pete Hegseth, another cabinet clown? I'm not sure. My man, is this guy trying to pull the jooksies on me? Nah, he's not. He's delivering food. Look away, park though, fucking moron. But no, I didn't see Bruce Gas, and I'll look into it. Damn, I took the wrong exit. But I'll look into it. I'm in Jersey City now. This is actually my birth city, Jersey City, New Jersey. Another shithole though too. Well, it's not that great. You know, whenever you see gentrification of this brand, which you have a lot of in Jersey City and Brooklyn, poverty will soon follow, and that's what's happened here. But the liberal left, now the fact that Joe Biden isn't this doddering, gingerly old dad, family man, how they drew him up to be. They like if Hunter Biden is guilty of anything, it's easily assumed that Joe Biden was the one putting him on and putting him to work and collecting these ill-begotten gains. See, I'm actually one of the schmoes that looked through some of the stuff in relation or videos in relation to the Hunter Biden laptop. Now, some people will say, oh, well, they're being selective and what they put out from the Hunter Biden laptop. Indeed, that could be the case. But it's not like there's a bunch of redeeming stuff that's on the Hunter Biden laptop. And if that was the case, the liberal left would be all over it and pointing those things out. The liberal left would be telling you, listen, like all these things that are on the Hunter Biden laptop may be terrible, but look at all these other redeeming things that are on there. And none of that's on there. What you do see is a lot of things that look highly along the lines of somebody who's selling his family name, i.e. the Biden name, in Hunter Biden, in a loose association in what could be his father possibly benefiting from that. And that's a lot of people's theory, that his father may have benefited from those proceedings, because they allude to somebody within the Hunter Biden laptop, i.e. the big guy, as somebody who had to be given a percentage of the monies that were being generated from Hunter Biden's influence operation, which is what the Hunter Biden laptop basically breaks down. Like, I mean, Hunter Biden was in trouble for a tax charge. It was two charges, one for the gun charge and applying for a gun. And you gotta say, like, I mean, you can't be addicted to drugs and apply for a weapon in New York, in America, which, I mean, I really don't see that as that big of a crime. But again, the Bidens are in politics, and politics has become that. I mean, your family could get thrown into the fray. I mean, it's not like Donald Trump's kids aren't thrown under the bus. And this is actually the avenue that I was born on my, I'm not gonna say what, like Bergen, in Jersey City, another shithole. This is Journal Square, Jersey City. Pretty much, that's the tallest building in Jersey City. Oh, they closed the hot dog spot. Oh no, the hot dog spot is right there, Boulevard Drinks. But moving on, the second thing that Hunter Biden was in trouble for was for tax evasion or misfiling taxes, whatever have you, something in relation to trying to hide tax money. Now, that money that was being hidden, you could safely assume, being that Hunter Biden doesn't have an industry, he's not a practicing lawyer where he's making money from his law practices. Hunter Biden was basically influence peddling. Hunter Biden was on the board of a Ukrainian energy company, Burisma, and the even though he had no experience in that field. Also, Hunter Biden's father, as far as politicians go, was considered the impromptu president of Ukraine during his time as the vice president. He was one of the people that was given responsibility for building up Ukraine. I mean, to me, knowing that I know Biden's political history, and Biden has always been a glad handler. Biden has always been somebody who's not really qualified. Biden's always been a bully. I know that he saw Ukraine as his piggy bank. So Hunter Biden doesn't seem like a really smart man. And there's actually videos, a video in which somebody comes to talk to Joe Biden at a function, and they start discussing business, and he says, and he calls Hunter Biden over, and then the gentleman that approached Joe Biden to discuss business started talking solely to Hunter Biden, and this was years before anything to do with Ukraine. So one could say that Hunter Biden is the point person in the business of Joe Biden's influence peddling. The fact that the Russia collusion tale was one step away from Ukraine. In fact, a lot of it had to do with Ukraine. And it was something that we really couldn't speak about. I mean, that's another topic. A lot of the topics that I'm talking about now were highly censored on YouTube. I mean, I've talked about it in the past, and I've seen, like I mentioned, the brother Shaka Shakur. Shaka Shakur has the most introspective breakdown of Ukraine since the Maidan operation in 2014. There's nobody that has better information on the Maidan coup or the Maidan revolution, whatever you want to call it, than a channel on YouTube by the name of Shaka Shakur. Now that brother has lost his channel at least 8 times, it seems. And why is that? Look at that beautiful view of New York City, the city that I love and hate. That's the Freedom Tower. But that brother has lost his channel for in part, I believe, since I've been following him. It really started riveting up when he started touching on that third rail, which is Ukraine and the Bidens and all these other Democrat and Republican politicians that were arming Ukraine and giving money to Ukraine. Now that and I think Trump, in a sense, played a little bit of a G move or a power move, like is not going to be stopped at any point from really going in and busting up and seeing what really happened in Ukraine. But I guess they'll get to that when they'll get to it. And we'll really start to see what happened in Ukraine. I think a lot, like there's a lot worse. This Hunter Biden, Joe Biden influence operation that they had running, we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg. And hope with now that Trump has the power behind him when he gets into office, now that Trump is basically sussing out and weeding out the rhino Republicans, which there are many. Republicans are either paid losers or, in most cases, and I'm not saying that they're worse than Democrats. The Democrats are just a cult. The left, the Democrats, the mainstream media, they're one cult, and they all operate in one direction, and that's anti-conservatism, not anti-Republican, because the liberal left was really pumping DeSantis when he was a potential replacement for Trump. This fucking guy, bro. All the powers that be, they all flow in one direction, and you have a few grimy Republicans that don't really show their teeth or don't really pull their knives out and stab you in the back until like the last minute. So Trump right now has a good opportunity to suss out the piece of shit Republicans, which it seems as he's getting getting down to the nitty gritty and weeding some of these people out, primarying them, hopefully, when their elections come in a couple years. Did you see, let me see, his choice for Secretary of Defense? No, I know who Pete Hegseth is. I think he's that Fox contributor. I know he's that Fox contributor. You have to look deep into the cabinet Trump has chosen. Yeah, and at this stage, I mean, their nominations, they still have to get approved. I could safely assume that some Republicans are going to try to cog block that in the Senate, like they did with Matt Gaetz. But Matt Gaetz, the fact that Trump threw his name out there, and the fact that Matt Gaetz was a victim of the Justice Department, and the fact that they know that he was going to gun and really break apart, like break through and try to find what's what in the Justice Department, I knew that they were going to look at the Matt Gaetz nomination with revulsion. But in my eyes, so long as they could do the job, I'm with it. And I mean, you know, I guess things come up as they come up. I haven't heard anything though, respectfully, Mr. Bruce Cass. But now with the Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, the fact that everybody's seeing them for what they are, which are criminals, it's a really beautiful thing that a lot of leftists and leftist defenders had to stand on the position as The media was telling us the truth. Nothing is wrong with the Biden crime family. There is no such thing as the Biden crime family. Joe Biden's just this gingerly, well-to-do grandpa type figure, and if you criticize him, you're racist or some shit. These things are no longer working, and I I'm glad that we're at this stage now. You know, we could cut through the minutia of fake emotional talk. Nobody's listening to that shit nowadays, and I've made it a real uh, as far as in my personal discourse, I'm not gonna listen to people's emotions any longer. Most people, I think, headline read or invent instances in which they are victims so that they could out emotion a conversation. Fuck that. Like, we ain't doing any of that stuff in 2024. But um, it's totally acceptable, like, to rag on Trump and invent things, but when you had the media not bringing up any negative press regarding Joe Biden, a lot of people viewed it as anything you say negative about Joe Biden is because you're in some sort of Trump cult. And as conservatives, you know, I had to eat that. I mean, what the hell am I going to say? I mean, but now, 2024, I mean, like, a lot of people are seeing what's what. A lot of people are seeing that the liberal leftist, you name it, the blob that is DC, these people are really dangerous, and a lot of them don't really love this country. And it's not like I'm some Johnny Hillsborough patriot. Like, in fact, I was really anti-patriotic until recently. But now I know, like, I look at, like, the dealings in this country far differently than I did in the past. I don't look at this country as somebody else's country. I look at this country as mine. And I mean, my house is situated in this country. And I want this country to be the best at the end of the day. If I were in the moon, I mean, like, or if I were in Botswana or some shit as a visitor, and I run into another American, of course I'm gonna dap him up and show him love, and that's for love of the land that I live within. And that's not, and that doesn't mean that I'm riding with a racist or, oh, well, racists say the same shit. Like, no, that's stupid, bro. Like, we're getting out of that shit. Like, loser talk is dead. Dead. But listen, in terms of, like, a lot of what I'm seeing in the media today, they're making it seem as if Hunter Biden is this addled drug addict that doesn't know no better. But this dude is a 55-year-old man, one. Secondly, he's been living in Santa Monica, I believe, on government dime for the past couple years. I believe $20,000 a month or $22,000 a month that they were paying, like, for him to live. If not, I think he was getting paid by his sugar brother, the lawyer for the creators of South Park, which doesn't get investigated. You know, these saucy, really scrupulous relations that the Biden family tends to benefit from. People don't really, the media has turned a blind eye to it. And thankfully that Joe Biden is out the door, it doesn't mean that his legacy's shot as is. I mean, how, and, like, for all these people that say, oh, well, I wasn't fucking with Biden a couple weeks ago, like, you know, up at, like, recently, like, you know, they were certainly fucking with Kamala. They were certainly willing to vote for Joe Biden, even after he showed that he had brain rot on the debate stage. So I can't really, like, if you're willing to swallow all that, and you're willing to have a candidate as vapid as Kamala Harris or as brain dead as Joe Biden, I mean, it's really hard to come to somebody that voted for somebody who actually has policy. And again, I'm not that person that votes, but I think that this is my land, and I want the best steward to operate this land. Like, I don't want, like, the nicest guy. I mean, if I go into war, I don't need a nice person to lead me into war. unless I don't plan on doing battle. Every war, every day is a battle, and you need battles. You need to be hard to win battles. Is a hard man. Trump is a man who's been cards that he's been being dealt by politics at large, and the weaponization of politics is something that Trump, Kash Patel, hopefully they still involve Matt Gaetz in some capacity. That's something that these people could, that are victims of slimy politics, could get down to the nitty gritty to, because ultimately it seems as if these people like Hunter Biden, who was capitalizing off the Ukraine, Joe Biden, who was capitalizing off Ukraine by way of his son capitalizing off of Ukraine. You also have reportedly Nancy Pelosi's son, I believe, was also benefiting from Ukraine, in addition to John Kerry's kid, if I remember correctly. So all this stuff's coming to roost. I mean, like, all this stuff should be found out, you know, and it's not just as far as being like having a stance on Ukraine. No, I just know, because I read, that the smell test never passed in the association with the Biden crime family being involved in the Ukraine. Again, Joe Biden is on video doing literal quid pro quo, and or gloating about the fact that he got the prosecutor that was prosecuting his son in Ukraine replaced by somebody good, according to him, and that he basically got that done by withholding $1 billion from them unless they got rid of that prosecutor. And in the story that Joe Biden is telling us, that's the story Joe Biden put out. And I believe he was talking to the CFR at that point, if memory serves me right. But Joe Biden says that story on video. He's gloating about it. He's proud of it. Yet it was Trump who was accused of doing quid pro quo with Ukraine, of course. And when they laced that association or that accusation against Trump, they paired it up with the fact that the fake Russia collusion, or Russia's fake association with Trump, which there's no evidence of. If there would have been evidence of that, they would have found it out in the 9 or 10 years that Trump's been investigated, more than any person in human history. More than any person in human history, Trump's been investigated. Trump's been done dirty by the political process. You know, and the hits keep on coming. You know what I'm saying? But yet here we are, you know, yet here we are, like, you know, in spite of that, Trump really didn't have to fight the liberal left to show how corrupt they are. The liberal left did it on their own. And that just shows you. I mean, I don't believe in the gods at times. Sometimes I do. But at times, it seems like there's some sort of coincidences that just fall and provide justice. No Republican will disagree with Trump. I don't know if you've been watching, though. There's a lot of Republicans that disagree with Trump. If the people that were saying that they weren't going to vote Matt Gaetz in were Republicans, Mr. Gas. But in spite of that, now Trump doesn't have to show how corrupt the system is. The liberal left is doing all the hard work for us. The liberal left shows us how racist they are when you tell them that a Latin man voted for Trump, and they'll tell you, well, they don't know any better because they're going to be put out on the fields, or like some crazy ass like racist shit. Like, I mean, like, if I were to say, oh well, you know, that black people will benefit off of the fact that, look at how pretty that is, that they like that there's going to be leniency on crime and that crime is not going to be prosecuted, I would consider that a really racist statement. You know what it is? You know what I'm saying? But the liberal left they get to play race politics because they're supposedly pointing out racism at a higher rate. That's some graffiti by I think his name is Succubat or Bat. But the liberal left, all they have to do is point out that other people are racist, not them, of course. Even though the liberal left is more racist than anybody, and it's acceptable. You also had the liberal left calling, like, I mean, I've heard people on the left or liberal left, white liberal leftists, calling Judge Clarence a COON, which is a derogatory word for black people. And I've heard them say that about Congressman Biggs, or Congressman Donald. And this is a sharp brother. I mean, like somebody who, like myself, is from the New York area. I mean, he doesn't sound like no honky. I mean, and he's very upfront with his policy, and he breaks things down. He's a sharp brother. I thought that he should have been considered for vice president. I think that he should be considered for taking Clarence Thomas's seat if he so chooses, because I think he'd be a great Supreme Court justice. But the liberal left could call out Byron Donalds, or Congressman Byron Donalds, and make it seem as if he or anybody who's of color or a so-called minority that doesn't agree with all of the shit that the liberal left has to pump, including like the rainbow shit, which minorities aren't really don't have an affinity for that issue as is. I could go to any minority barbershop right now, and if somebody of that community goes into that barbershop, I mean, it's not like they're going to discriminate against him in their face, because in today's times, we got to be socially conscious. But as soon as that person leaves, I mean, like, there's a sense of relief. There's a sense of maybe making some jokes that they wouldn't have made normally on that person's behalf. Like minorities don't really rock with that issue, with the rainbow issue. But the liberal left will make it seem as if a minority that is not in tune with that issue is racist. And I, as a person who I've always tried to lift my vernacular, because I like to be able to make money in any circle that I walk into. And honestly, speaking good English, like sometimes there's a disarming factor to it. Mind you, I mean, like, my appearance at times is a reason for people to get defensive at, here in New York City. I look like a Puerto Rican dude, or I am a Puerto Rican dude. But if I speak with proper diction, they look at, it makes people comfortable. Like, I mean, and I've always talked, or tried to talk with proper diction, or proper vernacular, if you will. But I try to contend my points while having proper vernacular, even though I've been involved in every hood situation there is. I've backed down like hood dudes that most people would be scared of. Dolo. I've got into, when I go to beat, if I've had problems, I've aired shit out by myself in Brooklyn. Like, I mean, like, I have balls, like, by hood standards. But God forbid I disagreed with the liberal left. I mean, and my hood card went right out the window. But I mean, I say this story in reference to some pre-election, and why I thought that the election was going to be won by Donald Trump. Damn, if somebody could tell me the time, because I got to get somewhere by 9 o'clock, and I'm hoping I can make it. I ain't on Puerto Rican people time, my friends. I try to be places early, but my Puerto Rican peoples, we're not the best in that department, my friends. I'll be candid about things, and that's no offense to me. And I'm sometimes guilty of that myself. I get places on my time, but to try to contend these points, there were times where in community meetings, I mean, like here in New York, here in Brooklyn, and we've just entered Brooklyn, New York City now. I should have said that while I was going over the Brooklyn Bridge. If you ain't aware, I just went over the Brooklyn Bridge. Trying to contend some of these points has been such a headache, honestly, because you don't really look the part. I mean, the only people that could contend any point without somebody trying to guilt them into feeling a way in the last like couple years, it's really like fucking black women maybe that nope. And I'm not saying that as you know, fucking that they're enemies of mine, because there's a lot of black women that hated Kamala and the Bidens, and a lot of black women that aren't part of this leftoid cult, you know, that weren't that don't want their sons to be part of the rainbow agenda, if you will. But seemingly, I mean, like even black men were getting sequestered and shut down by emotional talk. And when you think about it, I mean, who are these people defending? They were defending Joe Biden, liberal Democrats, people that I've dealt with my whole life. I've went to I've grown up in the liberal Democrat school system. If ever I went to court, it was contending against liberal judges and liberal prosecutors. And now these liberal judges and liberal prosecutors have become the biggest philanthropists. Now all of a sudden they give a shit about black and Latin people, you know. But meanwhile, I mean, they were throwing us under the bus, or under the jails when it wasn't politically cool. I mean, I guess look at that divorce king. If you need a divorce in the New York City area, call that wonderful lawyer. I mean, like advertise like with such illustrious advertisements. But I believe this building right here is the Secret Service headquarters. Damn, homie, the fuck out of here, bro. Get out of here. See what I get for streaming for you people at this fucking Momo. Oh shit! I think my stream froze. Could anybody tell me if my stream froze? I wonder if that had anything to do with the fact that let me turn the camera. Whoa! Get the fuck. If anybody's live and can see me, wow. If anybody's listening to this live, because I recorded a building that I may not have been, oh, maybe it's because I'm pointing in this direction. Let me see. But I was recording near a building. I don't even want to say which one it is, I guess. That is high government, I guess. I don't know. And my stream started behaving funny as I was doing that. I don't know if you guys peeped that. I'm gonna try. I gotta watch this on the replay. But if anybody could hear me and comment anything, comment balls or fucking the number one or herpes or some shit, or foul player, I hate your channel. Comment anything. I just want to see if my stream is working right now. Actually, I'm just gonna restart. This is because I don't know if I was supposed to do that.